Hi, welcome back. So let's learn in this lesson the 5 stages of machine learning implementation. This is a very important question. When I speak to a lot of software engineering professionals, the project managers who are involved with machine learning projects, they always are not able to explain the project process that they are applying to kind of develop and deliver an ML project. So this is an important question I thought we should address very early in the course so that when we do a lot of trial experience projects, we apply this process so that a lot of clarity comes in our mind. So let's get going with our topic then. So before we start talking about the 5 stages, let us think about this statement. So many machine learning projects, they fail to get into production as there is a massive difference between generating the input data needed by an ML model, that is building a proof of concept kind of model, and doing it continuously, indefinitely at scale, meaning an industry strength ML project, developing it is far more different from developing a POC kind of project. So it is hard to take a desktop scale ML algorithms into production. So why do you think we fail in these endeavors? So that is the question. So start thinking about it and tell me whether they are true or false statements. So the first one is, because of poor data quality, ML algorithms will be doomed to fail in the real world. Yes or no? Yes, it is true, because there is a simple truth of machine learning, and that is better data beats fancier algorithms. So the data quality, the way we handle the whole data aspect of this project is very critical to the success of an ML project. So please keep that in mind. The second point is, because you go after solutions that are cool but useless, and you overlook simple solutions that may be just effective. That is another reason why a lot of projects fail, because we are fancied by a lot of these hi-fi things, and then we try to do something called overfitting of our models and spoil the project. So and anyway, I will be using some terminology. Don't worry, we'll explain all those terminology in a very systematic way in the future lessons. So the third point is, because you lay out a systematic way and define good milestones for navigating open-ended problems, you will fail. You agree or not? So because you lay out a systematic way and define good milestones for navigating open-ended problems, will you fail? No. Anytime when you do systematic things, you will not fail. So that's why we have to think about what are the 5 stages are, because we know very well with respect to conventional project or process models, but it is an unconventional project, ML project. That's why we have to rethink, reimagine a process model for conducting ML projects. So imagine that it's your job to implement a machine learning technology into your business environment. So you are in charge of it, or you are working in your company for a client about that. You must be wondering where to begin, what kind of problems to expect, and how the specific related projects and services differ from what you are used to do. And again, we are talking about production strength, industry strength ML projects require a good, careful thinking. So the 5 stages are, the first stage is determine objectives, metrics, and constraints. It's a very important first step. You have to do that. And the stage 2 is assessing data. All the data pre-processing activities are very, very important. These are uncommon in our conventional projects. And the stage 3 is the model training. So again, this is also we don't do in typical our software development projects. Stage 4 is integration and testing. Once you have developed model, then integrate it to the IT system within which this is going to be a part, and then get it tested from an end user perspective, subject matter expert perspective. And then very important, once the model is in the production, continuously monitor and fine tune it in a continuous basis. These are the 5 stage implementation of machine learning projects. So let us very quickly go through each of these points. So the first point I told, determine objectives, metrics, and constraint. So here you have to address very important questions. First question is, what is the problem you are trying to solve? So you should be able to very clearly articulate this in a precise manner, as specific as possible. That is very important. And also you have to address who are the key stakeholders. So who gets the maximum benefit if you solve this prediction problem? Or you have to understand agendas of the key stakeholders, because a lot of times knowing the stakeholders, those who are in charge of this data, those who are in charge of these decisions, knowing them is more important than actually knowing the data, because you get data from the subject matter experts, the business analysts, the real experts of business. So you have to understand them. Then the third question is, what does machine learning offer over the existing solution? So if it is already a rule-based, algorithm-based system is there and it is solving a problem, so without understanding return on investment, no need to build it. So that is why you have to ask that question, what is the existing solution and how you can make it better. And the last point is actually having a clear, quantifiable win condition. Because if you don't have that, you may risk wasting a lot of time wandering here and there. That's what happens. And also, if you have a good quantifiable win condition, it will help you to know whether or not your model is good enough. You need to know. If you don't have a proper quantifiable win condition, you may land in such problems. So that is why the first stage is important. The stage 2 is assessing data. You have to do a lot of data collection. You can do data collection from many sources. It can be from SQL databases. It can be from scraping the websites, doing a lot of analytics. So you have to understand that. Then also, raw data without pre-processing and aggregation is more valuable. For a machine learning endeavor, always raw data is very, very important. And exploring the data and cleaning the data and engineering new features is another important aspect of assessing data. And as I mentioned you, quality of data is very important. So better data anytime beats the fancier algorithms. So the third one is, again, we'll be using some kind of terminology, don't worry. So a lot of data is there. Spending your data intelligently is very, very important. So because data is a limited resource, how much data you have to use for train to test, these decisions are very important. And also you have to build proper model pipelines where all this split of data happens, and also describing and declaring the hyperparameters for your overall ML project is extremely important. And fitting and tuning models with cross validation, all these aspects you do as part of your model training. And finally, evaluating variety of models and selecting winners. Then stage 4 is about integration and testing. So after the model is trained, it has to be integrated into the IT system for which it has been built. And also, after you have integrated, you have to conduct practical end user tests, and they are done by important stakeholders. And the third is that measure the accuracy of the model and actual achieved economic effect. Objectives you have set for yourself, did you achieve it or not? And accuracy of the model, you have to test and measure it. The fifth and last stage is model monitoring. Once you have put it in production, constant monitoring of the production use of the service or quality, you have to understand. And also you have to continuously, newly collected data has to be regularly used to train and further tune it. The last point is the recap. So 5 stages. You have to remember these 5 stages: determine objectives, assessing data, model training, integration and testing, and model monitoring. Keep that in mind. We'll talk about each of these points later very, very clearly. So hope you have enjoyed. Learn and have fun.